Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well. And a sincere salutation to all the occupants, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Agwaf who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah, coming at you another lesson in truth, fact, faith, and edification. Another daily edification. The Lord's willing is to be edifying. And this is world pulling back from petrodollar, Russia, China, and Saudi's next. So this is a little clip from RT News about how the petrodollar, how these nations is separating from Babylon the Great. Okay? They separate from Babylon the Great. And we've been telling you this for a long period of time now, starting with our apostles of Great Millstone. We've been telling you about these things. This is Daniel, the second chapter. Okay? The sons of the wicked will mingle himself with the sons of men, but they will not cleave. So Lord's willing, this be edifying.
Now let's try and drill down even further on this story by examining what our government seems to cherish and protect more than just about anything else: the U.S. dollar and its exclusive relationship with oil and how it's traded. You see, back in 1970, the term petrodollar was actually invented, essentially branding and solidifying that henceforth every drop of oil recovered anywhere on Earth would always be measured and traded in U.S. dollars. No other currency. Only the dollar. And no country was more important to that deal, still is, by the way, than Saudi Arabia. But what if that deal went away? What would be the impact? And joining us now is Christy I, who is really the perfect expert to talk about this with. I mean, we like to not throw out that word expert too much, but in this case, it really applies. I mean, not only are you the host of Boom Bust, the best business show on television, but you also have experience dealing not only on the trading floor, but specifically on the trading floor as it relates to oil. So this is the most important, this petrodollar question. And again, the question is, if Iran was making overtures toward Saudi Arabia or vice versa, and they came together, experts are saying one things that could suffer in that deal is the petrodollar deal. Why is that so important? Make us understand that.
It was because the entire petrodollar link, all the oil that's traded globally is currently pegged to the US dollar. It's denominated in the US dollar. And this was, as you said, done in the 1970s. So because of that, the entire commodities market, as well as all imports, exports, they are all currently denominated in US dollar. One reason is because the US dollar is currently the world's currency reserve.
Right.
And how did it get there? Well, one could argue which came first, the chicken or egg. Did it become the currency reserve first, or is it because of their monopoly on the commodities market that gave them the power to become the currency reserve of the world? We don't know, but oil accounts for up 2 to 4% of GDP in worldwide trade. And that is something substantial. So if you control the oil market, the commodities energy flow, that's something that every single country needs as an import, then that is going to be huge. And that makes every single country dependent on the US dollar.
I would imagine if I was an American neocon, an American banker, business person, I would be so concerned about this, because let us suppose that the Saudis decide to get back together with Iran, and somewhere in the process they start seeing themselves not as a vassal of the United States, but really part of a bigger world sort of thing, and they say, you know what, we're going to pull out of that petrodollar deal. That lets the genie out of the bottle, because suddenly China may have the same idea and say, we don't want to use the dollar either. Russia could step in and say, we don't want to use the dollar either. Certainly Venezuela.
Actually, they've already done so.
Really?
They've already done so. In the past year, China, Russia, as well as India, they have been lowering their US dollar reserve because they no longer want to deal with the US dollar hegemony, their monopoly on trade, essentially, that all trade must be denominated in dollar. So because of that, China and Russia have already started trading commodities and as well as other exports in their own currencies, the ruble and the RMB.
And we've been telling you this, man. Okay? We've been saying this for the longest. Okay? Start with our apostles and elders, a great millstone. We've been saying this.
Makes perfect sense for countries to use their own currency. So Russia also traded with India, and they successfully completed their trades in 2019. Venezuela and Iran. Venezuela wants to move to their own petro coin, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency denominated in oil that they're currently using to get around the US dollar as well. So these individual countries, they all want to use their own currency. They no longer think it's fair or it's needed to use the US dollar.
And of course, the Saudis are the Mac Daddies in all of this because they have the biggest oil reserves.
Exactly. So Russia, President Putin, he's actually been calling for all the countries to drop the US dollar simply because the US has been accumulating too much power. He's actually been calling for this for over 5 years, but none of the countries really listened to them until in 2019 when the US started to unilaterally issue sanctions that weren't really justified. So now all the countries are starting to pay attention, and because of that, China follows suit, India follows suit, and also Europe. Most of the trading there is all done in euros now instead of the US dollar.
That's fascinating. And to think that the United States, it would not be beyond them to then use military force or military might to make sure the status quo remains the status quo.
Exactly.
Because changing that would be a real big economic hit.
It would be a huge economic hit, and Saudi Arabia is basically the linchpin of it all because Saudi Arabia alone, outside of OPEC, controls 1/10 of the entire world's oil supply, which is equivalent to that of Russia and the US.
Nobody smarter. Christy I, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
And see, we've been telling you, man. We've been telling you this. We've been saying it. We've been saying it, man. We've been saying it for the longest. We've been telling you, Jakes. We've been telling you, Jakes, this thing is going to happen, man. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that have been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It have already been of old time, which was before us. Okay? What I'm linking this with? The Roman Empire, man. Okay? What happened with Roman Empire, man? Their money collapsed. Okay? Their denarii collapsed, man. It became worthless. They had their military spread it too thin, spread it too wide out, which is spread it too thin. Same as North America, man. Okay? There is nothing new under the sun. When you read Daniel chapter 2, it tell you about the nations, how they're going to separate from North America, man. Matter of fact, let's read that. This is Daniel 2 and 39. And after thee shall rise another kingdom, inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth, which was what? The Greek Empire. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdue all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, and the iron which breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So they was going to the sons of the wicked was going to cleave to the sons of men, but they was going to mingle with the sons of men, but they would not cleave, man. Why? Because these devils they are hypocrites, man. Okay? They are double-minded, man. They are double-minded people. Now, let's prove to you that they are double-minded. This is Psalms. This is Psalms. Let's get this. This is Psalms 55, showing you that these devils is double-minded. This is Psalms 55, and let's read 19, right? It reads, He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. Now, the conquistadors and Spaniards came over here and did this to the North American Indians, right? They put their hands, they made a peace agreement, right? And then they did what? They break it, man. What is North America doing to these other countries? Putting sanctions on them. What is this? They're breaking their covenant with the other nations, man. Again, Psalm 55 and 19. He hath put forth his hand, who? The Idumeans. He hath put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. Okay? His words smoother than butter, man, but he ready to go to war with every nation, man, and take their resources, their minerals, go in and just take what they want, man. Why? Because they're blessed with to live by the force of the sword. Even though the Russians are Idumeans, okay? Hey, Esau controlled the entire world, man. The Lord say, if Satan be divided against Satan, man, they will not stand. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but what was in his heart? His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawing swords. Okay? It said he had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. Now watch this. When you go to Obadiah chapter 1, it reads, Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy. Who is this? The ones that was at peace with him, man. Okay? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread, they made everybody join through the petrodollar. They that eat thy bread, all the other nations were eating the bread with North America because they all had the petrodollar, man. Okay? It say they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. They done fooled you devils, man. There is none understanding in him. You see, they that eat their bread with thee have deceived thee, man. You made everybody join to the petrodollar. Okay, that's how they all ate. That's how all these countries ate, lived lavishly, right? Committed fornication with her in Revelation 18. Through what? Through the petrodollar, man. Now, they have deceived you and separating from you, man. Okay? Why? Because you have broke your peace. You have broke your covenant, man. He had broken his covenant. As it read in Isaiah in Psalm 55, man. You broken the covenant, man. So now, what we're going to see continually is these nations is separated from North America, man. And that's why these devils is trying to impeach this guy so they can bring the nations back together, man. Cause long as DJ Trump stay in there, hey, North America is gonna be made naked and desolate. Okay, messing with him, man. They're gonna be made naked and desolate, as the scriptures say. And the nation is going to eat her flesh and burn it with fire, man. And that's what's starting to happen. Okay? They have been made naked and desolate. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Why? Because you deceived them, man. Okay? You done broke your agreement with these people, man. Read this one more time. Psalm 55 and 19. Again it reads, he hath put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. Hey, the same thing you did to the tribes of Gad and Reuben is happening to you now, man. Okay? And you put forth your hand, you made a peace agreement and you break the covenant, man. So the same thing happening now with these other nations, man. They breaking that covenant. They breaking the covenant. Same thing, man. This is all prophecy. This is Isaiah 33 and 1. And it reads, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. So when you're going to put away your end of spoiling, then you're going to be spoiled, man. And it's happening now. And you never stop. And see, that's the thing about you Idumeans. You never stop spoiling, man. You never did. It reads, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. You see? And that's what's going on right now, man. That's what's going on right now. Why are these things happening? Because of this. This is Colossians chapter 3 and verse 25. And it reads, but he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he have done. And there is no respect of persons, man. So Yahweh Shema Shai has got these nations separating from you devils, man. Why? This is why, man. This is why these nations is separating. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. And it reads, Habakkuk 2 and 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth the bottle to him and maketh him drink also. How did you make the other nations drink? You made them drink. How? By the force of the sword, man. You made the other nations drink by the force of your sword, man. This is what you do. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink. What drink? The philosophers. You made these nations join to you through the petrodollar. How? By the force of the sword. You straight up told them, if you don't join to us, we're just going to go in and take your whole country, man, and make you desolate and destroy everybody in your country, man, woman, and child. And that's how they get down, man. Okay? They live by the force of the sword. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. And that's what you did to all these countries, man. Now, the Lord said in Jeremiah 49 that he's making you bow. Okay? Read again. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thine foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So now, everything that you did, you dished out to all the nations, okay? To what you did to the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, the 12 tribes of Israel, all these things is coming back on you. Why? This is all because you touched the apple of the Lord's eye, man. That's why these things is happening. So now, you done made all the nations drink of your wine, your philosophy, your democracy, your policies, your legislations, right? So now, they are pissed off, man. And now, they are beginning to separate from you. This is Jeremiah 51 in verse 7. It reads, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. All the kings of the earth, man. And now it say, the nations have drunken of her wine, which I just read in Habakkuk 2, right? 15 and 16. You put the bottle to their mouth. It say you made us them drink your wine. How? Through the sword, man. You pulled out the gun on them and told them if they don't get down, they're going to lay down, man. Okay? If you don't get down with us, you're going to lay down. And what's that old saying, man? If you can't beat them, You might as well join them. You see, these nations was weak, man. And what did Babylon the Great do? They went in and took over, man, because the nation was weak. And they had the biggest military might. They had all the atomic bombs and all the fat man and little boys. Okay? They had the Gatling gun. Jeremiah 51:7 again. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. How? Through the force of the sword. Therefore, the nations are mad, man. They mad. They pissed off with you, man. Okay? This is Galatians 6:7. It reads, be not deceived. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is not marked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So, verse 8 say, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And your portion is what? You have sown to the flesh, so you shall reap corruption of the flesh. Because this is your portion. This is your lot, to be the wicked. So now, the other hand is being turned, man. Because what you have been dishing out for thousands and thousands of years, starting with Alexander the Great, okay? You've been pushing this all over the planet. And now, you're finna fall on your face, man. Okay? Now you finna fall on your face. This is James chapter 5 and verse 1. Let me get this. And it reads, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your riches, okay, corrupted, man. That's why these nations is leaving the petrodollar. Your garments are moth-eaten. Your so-called philosophies, hey, this is twofold. Your clothes, your suits, your ties. You meet all the nations wearing suits now. Okay? Chinese, Japanese, hey, Elamites, okay, the Ishmaelites, they all wearing suits, man. Okay, your garments are moth-eaten, man. Your philosophies. All your ways of life are moth-eaten, are destroyed, man. Your riches are corrupted. That's why the nations is separated from the petrodollar, because it's corrupted. And your garments are moth-eating. Everything about you is corrosion, man. Okay? Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them should be a witness against you. It said a rust. Okay? Why? Because what the scriptures say in Sirach 12, in Ecclesiastes 12, okay? And you can't wipe the rust away from the wicked, right? So it said, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. Why? Because you got old money, man. You got old money. You devils got old money, man. Okay? You done took. Hey, you got this guy, Maduro money, man. Billions of dollars and won't give it back to him, man. Okay? It saying the rust of them shall be a witness against you. Yeah, because you've been having, you got all the wealth, man. You just some rape, rob, murder, and pillage the entire planet. And shall eat your flesh as it were fire. And what it said in Revelation 17:16? And the 10 horns shall hate the whore. Okay? They shall make her naked and desolate and eat her flesh and burn her with fire, man. Okay? And shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. So you got treasures on top of treasures, man. All you do is take. And now, these nations is coming against you, man. Separate from your petrodollar. Okay? It said, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud. You ain't paying, you ain't giving people what they're supposed to get, man. Okay? You got us working bi-weekly, weekly, when we supposed to get paid daily, man. It's a cry of, and the cries of them which have reaped are enter into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, man. Okay? It'll enter into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, man. Why? Because the crying of the cry, Negro, Latino, Native Americans, man. Okay? Hey, and all the other nations, man, they sick of you, man. So they're separated from the petrodollar. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and 10. As a matter of fact, let me get it in here. See, it's now it's a problem, man. Now when you can't control the narrative, now it's a problem, man. But you know what? It's been a problem, man. And you heaped it to you have heaped treasures for yourself, man. And you've been heaping treasures. That's why I say, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, because you got old money, man. Okay, you took the gold standard from the dollar. The dollar is worth nothing, man. And these other nations know that, man. The dollar is worth nothing, man. U.S. currency is worth nothing. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 10. And it reads, He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. Okay? He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. Listen, man, you have heaped treasures for the land. You have heaped treasures on top of treasures, man. And the money ain't worth nothing, man. Okay? This money is worth nothing. Let's get some more precepts. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and 11. And now, hey, you devils is hot because these nations, hey, the jig is up, man. Okay? The jig is up, man. Zephaniah 1 and 11. It reads, How, ye inhabitants of Maktesh, Maktesh representing Babylon the Great, North America, and any other country where the Idumeans rule at. How, ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down. All they that bear silver are cut off. And this is you elite bank owners, man. Everything about this place is collapsing, man. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. And see, this is the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shah. And he's about to bring this into you. This is Isaiah 13 and 17. It reads, Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Hey, they want your head on the stick, man. Okay? The Medes. Who are the Medes, man? Who was the Medes, man? It's the Iran, man. The Iranians, man. The Medes and the Persians are the Iranians, man. Okay? The Lord said he would stir up the Medes, man. And then you got, hey, he gonna put hook in the jaws of Gog and Magog, man. Which is, today is Russia, man. Okay? Let's read it again. Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. Against who? Babylon the Great. Which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So you created your new gold, your new silver, which is what? The petrodollar. And they ain't delighting in it, man. Okay? Verse 19 saying, Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Okay, your end is near, man. These nations is pissed off with you people, man. They pissed off with you people, man. And they sick of it. This is Ezekiel chapter 7 and 19. It reads, They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Your petrodollar will be removed, man. Because This gold and silver is talking about your petrodollar, man. Okay? If you remove the gold and silver, you remove the gold standard. So you remove the gold and the silver standard. So the petrodollar stand in place of that, which is backed by nothing. Again, Ezekiel 7:19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowls, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. Listen, man, you setting the petrodollar up and making all the other nations cleave to the petrodollar have created a stumbling block for yourself, man. Okay? Now, these nations is leaving, man. Why? Because they sick of you Babylonians being the bully, man. Okay? Babylon the Great have been the bully of the whole earth, man. Okay? That's why the scripture is saying Jeremiah. What is that? Jeremiah 50 and 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? How? Because of your damn pride, man. That's how. The pride of your heart have deceived thee, man. Obadiah 1 and 3. Okay? How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken, man? Through the pride, man. Okay? Through your what? Your corruption, man. North America, Babylon the Great, was built on corruption, man. It was built on the backs, on the blood, sweat, and tears of Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. West Indian and Haitians. Okay? North America was built on corruption. And every other nation around the world where the wicked is in rulership, man. It was all built on corruption, man. Okay? Hey, but Yahweh Shema said what? They shall build, but I will throw down. Okay? You said you're going to return and build the desolate places, but Yahweh Shema said, yeah, you're going to build, but I'm going to throw down, man. Okay? This is Proverbs chapter 11. This is Proverbs 11 and 4. And it reads, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. The point being, riches profit not in the day of wrath, man. Your riches is corrupted. Your garments are moth-eaten, man. And that garment going to all your philosophies too, man. It ain't just talking about your Armani suits, okay? Your suits and ties and your way of life, your philosophies, man. Why? Because by the Spirit of the Lord mouth, you have been consumed, man. The truth is out. And Babylon the Great is falling, man. And it's falling hard. It's falling fast. The city of confusion is broken down. Okay? As a matter of fact, let's read that. Isaiah 24. You read Isaiah 24 in verse 10. And it reads, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There is a cry for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. Babylon the Great is falling. Okay, the doors are being shut. All the grinding is ceasing. Okay, the doors are becoming shut. The economy is collapsing, man. The banks is collapsing. They broke. They lying to the people. The world don't know not what's going on because you got all these different social media outlets, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, okay, to keep you deceived and occupied, man. Just like the Roman Empire did when their monetary system was collapsing, they created all these different sports arenas to keep you occupied, man. While your money while the system was collapsing, you was occupied watching sports. Okay? Gladiators today ain't nothing but UFC, man. That's all it is. Gladiators fighting is UFC, wrestling, and boxing, man. They keep you occupied, man, while the economy is collapsing, man. Right in your face, and you don't even see it. This is let's get this. 1 Timothy 6:17. It reads. Matter of fact, let me get it over here. 1 Timothy 6:17 reads. First Timothy chapter 6, verse 17. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches. Which is talking about Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. But in the living God, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. Hey, the Lord say, hey, not to trust in uncertain riches, man. Okay? Why? Because they all corrupted, man. This is Proverbs chapter 10, verse 2. And it reads, treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness deliver from death. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, man. Your riches is corrupted, man. And the nations is separated because they know your money ain't worth nothing. Hey, your money ain't worth the paper that it's printed on, man. Okay? The ink that you print on the paper, on that paper ain't worth nothing, man. Proverbs 15:27 reads, he that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. And you know, only the elect of Israel are going to hate the gifts. Okay? But it said what? Proverbs 15:27. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house. And now your whole house is destroyed because you brought the calamity to your house, man. By what? Rape, robbing, murdering, and pillaging, man. The entire world. All the nations, man. Okay? All the nations are angry with you, man. Hey, so you have brought this to your whole house, to your whole lineage, man. Okay? Hey, that's why the scriptures say the children shall complain of ungodly fathers, man. Why? Because of the destruction that you done brought to your whole lineage, man. As a matter of fact, let's read that. This is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 41 and verse 7. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake, man. Okay? Now, they got to pay for your doings, which we are our forefathers back in the reincarnation. But the point is, now, your lineage got to pay for what you are doing, man. It's Proverbs 13:11. And it reads, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase, which going to the elect on the second part. But the first part is talking about the wicked. Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. And that's what's going on, man. But he that gathereth by labor shall increase. Now listen. This is Matthew. And I brought this out in a lesson a little while ago. This is Matthew 22. And I'm going to start at verse 19. Now, the disciples came to Yahushua, right? Well, actually, the hypocrite, it was the Pharisees. And they asked him this. This is Matthew 22 and 19. And it reads. I'm going to read 18 so you can understand. Let's read 17. It reads, tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? So you understand this? Matter of fact, let's read here. This is Matthew 22 and verse 15, so you can understand what's going on. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. They're trying to trip up Yahushua, right? And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true and teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man. For thou, see how he try to, see they coming with that, with, man, these devils are slick. It say, for thou regardest not the persons of men. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Yahushua perceived their wickedness and said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto them, who is this image and subscription? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then said he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. The point is, who faces on the money, man? That's why I brought this out last in one of my last lessons. Who faces on the money, man? Caesar's, man. Okay? Caesar's face is on the money. Is this not the revived Roman Empire, man? It is. So the same Caesar's faith that was on that penny is on the penny today, man. It's on the dime and the nickel and the quarter and the dollars today, man. It's the same people in rulership, man. Job 9 and 24. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked, man. Okay? These are the same people that's in rulership right now today, man. Hey, so you done created, like I started out with Ecclesiastes 1, 9 and 10. Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. That's nothing new under the sun, man. And the Lord required that which is past, man. That which was shall be again, man. Okay? And it said that which was is now, man. So these the same Caesars that ruled in the Roman Empire. That's them right now today. The 13 head families that own the banks, that own the world. These are them, man. And now you have mingled yourself with the seed of men, but y'all don't cleave. So now it's a separation, man. Why? Because back, like I read in Psalms 55, man. I'm going to read this and close on this. Psalms 55 and 19. He hath put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. Hey, so since you broke your covenant, this is what's going on. Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. All they that have ate thy bread, meaning what? That have you made them take the petrodollar. They did what? Have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. You don't even understand what's going on, man. Because it's the spirit of Yahweh Shah, man. Got this playing out. That the seeds of men are separating from you sons of the wicked. The sons of men are separated from the sons of the wicked. Because you was going to mingle together for a short period of time, but you was not going to cleave, man. Okay? Just like iron and clay don't mix, man. This is all prophecy. And people don't understand what's going on. But this is prophecy, man. Like I read Habakkuk 2, 15 and 16. You make the nations drunk with your philosophies, your democracy, your legislations, your policies. And now they are mad, man. They pissed off. So now your money is going to be nothing, which it always was nothing. But you use your computers to create a bunch of zeros to deceive people with money that ain't even there, man. The money is not there, man. Okay? It's not there. This is the same system from the Roman Empire, man. This is the revived Roman Empire, man. And now your end is near. Why? because you have been the bully of the earth, man. Okay? Hey, the hammer of the earth. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken, man? Because the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. Matter of fact, let me close with this. It's Isaiah 14. It's Isaiah 14, and I'm gonna start at verse 5 say, He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke, he that ruleth, it said, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest. This after you fall. Isaiah 47:1. And it's quiet, they break forth into singing. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid down, no fellow is come against us. Even the trees gonna rejoice when you devils go down, man. It say, Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Okay, that's like I read it, man. These nations, you have made them drunk, and now they pissed off and they finna destroy you, man. It said, All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Yes, they are. North America has become weak as the other nations. Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave. What I just read in Jeremiah 50. How was the hammer of the whole earth broken and cut asunder? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, your power, your rulership, your dominance of the earth, and the noise of thy vows, the worms is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Okay? Verse 16 say, they that see thee shall never look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the city thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners? All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. Okay? But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch. You see? Listen, man. Now, all the nations looking at you and saying, If this is the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, is this them? Is these the same ones? Babylon the Great, North America? How are you falling? You is the greatest nation on earth. How have you fallen? Hey, do you how about Shema Shah? Okay? That's how, man. And the scripture say in Amos 3 and 6, if that be evil in the city, man, calamity in the city, the Lord had done it. Okay? The Lord is bringing you devils down, man. Pride. Okay? Hey, so Lord willing is edifying. Gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Bahashim Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well. And the sincere salutation to all the ark and pushing this truth and believing in truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah, coming up to another lesson. Lord, wouldn't it be edifying? As a matter of fact, I want to run this back, man. Play this one more time.
And drill down even further on this story by examining what our government seems to cherish and protect more than just about anything else: the U.S. dollar and its exclusive relationship with oil and how it's traded. You see, back in 1970, the term petrodollar was actually invented, essentially branding and solidifying that henceforth every drop of oil recovered anywhere on Earth would always be measured and traded in U.S. dollars. No other currency, only the dollar. And no country was more important to that deal, still is, by the way, than Saudi Arabia. But what if that deal went away? What would be the impact? And joining us now is Christy I, who is really the perfect expert to talk about this with. I mean, we like to not throw out that word expert too much, but in this case, it really applies. I mean, not only are you the host of Boom Bust, the best business show on television, but you also have experience dealing not only on the trading floor, but specifically on the trading floor as it relates to oil. So this is the most important. This petrodollar question. And again, the question is, if Iran was making overtures toward Saudi Arabia or vice versa, and they came together, experts are saying one things that could suffer in that deal is the petrodollar deal. Why is that so important? Make us understand that.
It was because the entire petrodollar-dollar link, all the oil that's traded globally is currently pegged to the US dollar. It's denominated in the US dollar. And this was, as you said, done in the 1970s. So because of that, the entire commodities market, as well as all imports, exports, they are all currently denominated in US dollar. One reason is because the US dollar is currently the world's currency reserve.
Right.
And how did it get there? Well, one could argue which came first, the chicken or egg. Did they become the currency reserve first, or is it because of their monopoly on the commodities market that gave them the power to become the currency reserve of the world? We don't know, but oil accounts for up 2 to 4% of GDP in worldwide trade. And that is something substantial. So if you control the oil market, the commodities energy flow, that's something that every single country needs as an import, then that is going to be huge. And that makes every single country dependent on the US dollar.
I would imagine if I was an American neocon, an American banker, business person, I would be so concerned about this, because let us suppose that the Saudis decide to get back together with Iran, and somewhere in the process they start seeing themselves not as a vassal of the United States, but really part of a bigger world sort of thing, and they say, you know what, we're going to pull out of that petrodollar deal. That lets the genie out of the bottle, because suddenly China may have the same idea and say, we don't want to use the dollar either. Russia could step in and say, we don't want to use the dollar either. Certainly Venezuela.
Actually, they've already done so.
Really?
They've already done so. In the past year, China, Russia, as well as India, they have been lowering their US dollar reserve because they no longer want to deal with the US dollar hegemony, their monopoly on trade, essentially, that all trade must be denominated in dollar. So because of that, China and Russia have already started trading commodities and as well as other exports in their own currencies, the ruble and the RMB. And it makes perfect sense for countries to use their own currencies. So Russia also traded with India, and they successfully completed their trades in 2019. Venezuela and Iran. Venezuela wants to move to their own petro coin, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency denominated in oil that they're currently using to get around the US dollar as well. So these individual countries, they all want to use their own currency. They no longer think it's fair or it's needed to use the US dollar.
And of course, the Saudis are the Mac Daddies in all of this, because they have the biggest oil reserves.
Exactly. So Russia, President Putin, he's actually been calling for all the countries to drop the US dollar simply because the US has been accumulating too much power. Wow. He's actually been calling for this for over 5 years, but none of the countries really listened to them until in 2019, when the US started to unilaterally issue sanctions that weren't really justified. So now all the countries are starting to pay attention, and because of that, China follows suit, India follows suit, and also Europe. Most of the trading there is all done in euros now instead of the US dollar.
That's fascinating. And to think
we
that
told you, man.
States, it would not be
We told you, man.
to then use military
constantly telling you.
or military might to make sure the status quo remains the status quo.
See?
Exactly.
It's all about the military might, man. Okay? They use their military, man, the Debo. Hey, but that's over, man. Okay? The Lord got a different spirit in the earth now, man. And you devils is going down, man. Hey, so with that, hey, Lord willing is edifying. Shalom.